So I'll just place it there. Okay, Nash.
Yes. 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2. Check check. So
Check.
I told you when I first came to Amsterdam, I didn't know too much about smart shops. I wasn't very familiar with that whole like environment. Can you tell me about the history of smart shops?
Well, first of all, I'm not very into the history. I can tell you since I started working at least,
Yeah.
which goes back 5 years.
Okay.
I know the basics of the past, but I don't know details of the past about the
Yeah,
products
basics
and
are
stuff, but I
interesting too.
know the differences between now and the past from what I've heard.
Sure.
I know some stuff, yeah. So, to tell you the history, I can tell you from my shop, because my shop was one of the, maybe the first, I think it was the first head shop. It's called the head shop.
Head shop was the first smart shop, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't smart shop before.
Oh, it was called head shop.
Yeah, so it created the category itself.
Okay.
Now the smart shops are called head shops. But the smart shop became, now the difference between the head shop and the smart shop is that the head shop had usually only like herbs and tea, stuff to drink, stuff from India, from Asia, like the mushrooms also.
Yeah.
Part of it, the salvia, psychedelic stuff. But then the smart shop is like something more modern. It's a modernized version of the head shop.
Okay. So
That has like all these new other drugs. The kind of the ecstasy, the herbal ecstasy, the herbal cocaine, the herbal
okay.
that they weren't back then. Back then it
Okay.
was like smoking herbs that everybody knows, like the Damiana herbs, the passion flower herbs,
Interesting.
mescaline and stuff that is like very spiritual, not just energetic or aphrodisiac.
So you've seen a big change from
Now,
the
yeah,
past?
you can find lots of vibrators in a head shop now, which is completely nothing to do.
Right.
But yeah, it become like a thing. That's the smart shop, like this combination of a bit of everything. You know, combine the prostitution of Amsterdam to support this in a section. You have like these aphrodisiac products, even if you're not you sell cigarettes.
Yeah.
But you have
So
a bit with
a
aphrodisiac.
focus on the natural natural enhancers. So
yeah.
not only of consciousness, but also
Yeah, it is, exactly.
of physical things that
Physical.
were not the point before.
Yeah. Or
okay.
maybe they were, but maybe in different forms.
So the customer base has also changed between the past and now.
Well, I can see that because we still have some customers coming. They are like 60, 70 years old.
Okay.
They used to come to the head shop and buy the hippie clothes of the 70s because this head shop opened in 68,
In 68.
50 years now. So he was selling like hippie stuff from India. He was very known for that and jewelry. Nothing to consume, like clothing and jewelry.
Yeah.
Then we brought this herbal stuff, the soap, herbal soap, henna for tattoos, henna for the hair. Stuff that you could find only in India, anyway. And
This was back in the
68.
68.
The shop is where it is now since 71, I think, in the same location.
So a bit of a connection between that hippie world and the psychedelic experience through the commercial shop of the head shop.
Yeah, like what is now, but with the new waves.
Yeah.
So cocaine, sex, this and that, not so spiritual on one side, but the smart shop brought the
So it
physical,
reflected
like
the
you said.
culture. It reflected the culture of the time,
Yeah.
and now it reflects the culture
Of this time.
of this time.
It became more trap now.
How popular would you think are smart shops among tourists?
Well, they were also to me, which before I even become a tourist.
Yeah.
Here. But from what I see from the tourists I meet, they always hear about smart shops, certain if it's their first time in Amsterdam, from a friend that visited, came back and they told them about the smart shops. So most of them, I think they know, as they know coffee shops, they know the same way the because of the mushrooms. That's our cannabis.
More than locals, do they have more of a tendency to be curious about the smart shop than locals?
Yeah, inside the shop, like questioning. Yeah, locals probably know more than me about the history of smart, so they don't really ask about that.
They
care
just
about
come
the
and buy?
product.
Would you say there are more locals or more tourists that buy truffles?
More tourists. Truffles, more tourists.
Truffles, more tourists. Because I heard that when I went to observe the head shop, I was told by Luca that the head shop is not a touristic shop.
Yeah, the head shop, because he didn't have the truffles before.
Okay.
It was the head shop and had its own stuff, which we tried to still keep in combination with the new stuff that we added.
Okay, so
we lost a lot of customers in this transition anyway, that they didn't like this touristic side. The touristic side is a smart shop.
Yeah.
The head shop was like for the people who knew, who they were they had a certain lifestyle, and they were going to the head shop.
Right.
Like they were coming maybe from all over the world, but
more based on
lifestyle.
hearsay. Yeah. If you had the same interest, what is the difference between the smart shop sells all of these? People still ask for weed in the smart shop.
Yeah, of course, more than anything.
What is the difference? What is a coffee shop in comparison of the experience to a smart shop?
Different product, first of all, and the coffee shop is also a cafe at the same time.
Oh,
it has this ambience. Yeah, you hang out. In my shop, you come. Either you bust my balls asking me stuff about Amsterdam in general, or you come to shop like certain stuff.
A lot of people ask you about Amsterdam.
Yeah. On my breaks in the door, smoking a cigarette. Yeah, I'm thinking to make t-shirts with directions.
So you've been working there for 5 years?
No, there for 2.
For 2, but at another type of.
3.
It's another head shop.
Yeah, that was smart shop.
Okay.
We had only smart shop stuff.
Is there something that makes this head shop special compared to other types?
Yeah, that is the head shop.
That is the old original head shop?
Yeah, that is the one that created the category.
It created the category.
Like I say.
And is that within the founder or the owner that gave this culture, or is it more...
I don't know much about these owners, to be honest. They must be pretty interesting people, but I don't know much, because I was hired by the new ones.
Okay. So what is you said that some people ask you so many things and they kind of bust your balls.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not busting your balls, but...
No,
what
at least we have a reason.
For sure. And what is...
They just ask to ask, because they ask and they don't pay attention to my answers, and I can't see that. So at some point I stop answering.
What is it that you... So that's obviously something you don't like so much, but what is something that you do like about your...
No, I like the whole interaction thing. Even the things I dislike, I like. Yeah, because I in the beginning I didn't, because I was learning, I was new into this and I was getting annoyed. But now I know so much how the whole thing goes, with the psychology of every customer, depending the place he is, depending the sex, depending.
Can you tell me more about that? What are the usual places the tourists are from? Is there some stronger?
Good man.
You know,
the more
differences between countries and so on. Do you feel like?
Yeah, well, I don't. There are, but I don't pay attention to them, so I don't really know them. But I know that it's a thing my colleagues will discuss with each other, and they have categorized people. But I don't categorize. It's not my thing to categorize.
It's not your thing.
So I don't do it also with the customers. I have customers that I dislike, and I didn't want to. I don't know if it's in your subject, or I was thinking. It will sound racist to say, but I don't know. These people, even if I try to ignore it, it's there are 3 people that in these 5 years. Imagine how many people I've seen in my life in there in 5 years, different. But 3 people I remember that they weren't like them.
Individual
and I still
people.
remember their faces.
Okay.
That they gave me this surprise that wow, they can be normal also from that place, you know. And there are 3, but I met 3,000 more that they weren't.
Okay.
That they are all the same, but the other way, the annoying way. So I have only this, but I don't have this.
Particularly
the most funny that I don't know that Russians do this. If you have many Russians, put these products in the vitrine. This happens.
Russians.
People. It's an example.
Yeah.
I have heard this happening in a shop between colleagues.
Yeah.
Or from manager to a colleague, good manager knows.
So they look at the vitrines and. Or?
Yeah, like maybe I don't know. There are periods that a certain country visits more than any other.
Right.
Maybe it's their holidays or whatever. So it's a period that maybe the Russians come. So the Russians, for any manager I met in my life, they have golden cards. They have money, so charge this 2 times more. Blah blah blah. But every Russian customer I had was a fucking my level Russian, and I could see that. And I would also do discounts, not like try. No, Russians have money. And I never met someone, but it's a thing that they say for each like country, depending the period that they come. They have their Easter, they have their holidays.
Yeah. When I observed, I in the time I was there, I heard a lot of people speaking German, a lot of young groups.
The Germans, I think it's maybe from one of the countries that it's continuously has the same percentage of being here.
Oftentimes quite young. I would say around 19 to 23, 24.
Yeah.
Is that your biggest age group? You said you had some very old customers, but is that the biggest age group?
Yeah.
Younger than 25?
I believe, yeah. Yeah, between 19 22, I think it's a group.
What interest are they looking for the psychedelics?
The truffles.
The truffles? Do you
mainly, firstly, mushrooms, which are illegal, but they are so powerful that they are still on demand. Because they're illegal since 2008.
The mushrooms have been illegal since 2008.
Yeah, the mushrooms. So
dry or whatever form.
Yeah, but still people ask first mushrooms. Maybe they can get it under the counter, and later, okay, let's go with truffles. Okay. Only the very beginners, they go with truffles because they believe it's safer for some reason than mushrooms. So they're okay with the idea. But the people who used to do mushrooms, they're annoyed by it.
Do you think people are usually informed? Because this sounds like not a very informed opinion. Because the truffle is also unpredictable.
Yeah. No, they're not.
So usually customers are not informed at all.
No.
What do they look for?
People come a lot with truffles from other shops and ask me because they couldn't get an answer.
It's not the same brand?
There are 3 to 4 different brands.
Okay, but
probably the same strains.
They couldn't get an answer to their question, so they come to you.
Yeah.
What kind of questions do they ask?
How to use it.
How to use it.
Maybe they were getting questions. They were getting some, but it wasn't like it wasn't enough for them to convince them because they're taking something that maybe they've heard from 10 different friends.
Are they
can be bad, can be good.
Can be bad. So they're afraid a little bit.
They're afraid of this bad trip. Some people think the bad trip you go crazy. You're gonna jump
out of the window. So what is a
bad trip? Is you don't like it, you feel annoyed, but it doesn't go away. So it's bad. You have bad 5 hours, but that's it. You never die from that.
Yeah.
What you were aware before you use it might lead you to do something dangerous.
For sure. I mean,
it's better if you don't know shit than to know all the negative of someone's trip.
That's true.
That's why I never share my negative experiences with customers. It's not to hide that there is a negative. It's because if you give him the idea, that's the negative is always stronger feeling than the positive.
Fear.
It's fear, yeah. So this is what's gonna stay. So that enhances your mood.
So you have different types of advice that you give according to different customers. What is it that you?
I even give advices for stuff I never took.
Of course, but like you've taken.
They're so accurate.
But some
are all from people who told me their experience.
Yeah, and some customers, you will look at their attitude before giving advice, right? What is it that you look at?
If they're drunk.
If they're drunk, what do you say?
I don't sell them.
You don't serve them?
I don't know. I serve them. I don't sell them psychedelics.
You don't sell them psychedelics?
They can buy truffles. They can buy smoking paper. They can buy bongs.
But not the psychedelics?
Not psychedelics.
Do you tell them come back later or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's not because it's not good to combine it when you're drunk. Not because I don't trust them, but it's not good for the effect itself. So like come back. It has a lot of sugar, the alcohol, and this doesn't let it act right.
True.
You can get confused, you can get many things that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's usually, okay, if they insist, the customer is like, okay. If they have like a couple of friends together and it's that, okay, we're gonna take it when it's better, they take it and go. But if it's like 3 guys totally drunk, no.
There are like different types of truffles sold. I saw with different strength of hallucination. These are approximate figures, of course, but what is the attitude of people towards the stronger or weaker type of truffles? Are they curious to find out which gives what effect?
Well, it's a kind of
What's the
30,
purchasing?
30.
What do they usually purchase?
the strongest.
The strongest?
Yeah.
So people come to the shop looking for a strong experience,
Yeah,
even if it's their first time?
yeah,
So they will buy the high Hawaiians, the mush rocks,
yeah.
etc.
I will try. We will try to warn them.
You will try to warn them. What do you
But
say?
then in the end, it's not something so extreme that you won't allow him to buy it.
Yeah, I mean it's
It's just you explain to him that it will be better and easier for the whole thing to accept it if it's a bit softer, because it's the first time. It's not like you have to do it 10 years to
Yeah.
be on my level. You have to do it half time
yeah.
to know how it feels, because it changes the way you feel.
Do you give advice to specific advice to first timers?
Of course.
Can you tell me what you tell them?
It's the same more or less to every first timer. So it's yeah. First of all, check if they're in a good mood.
Yeah.
Because if they are troubled, or if they are very tired, or if they are doubting, they're not sure. Maybe it's better you go. Maybe you Google it. Maybe you read about it. Maybe you see your friend how she acts with it, and come back tomorrow. It's better. That's an advice that I give, because I don't want to sell it to someone that will be bad for him. Because it's bad for him, but also bad for my business.
For sure.
Because if accidents happen, that's how they stopped mushrooms. Because of a bad misuse.
How do they react when you tell them, they look a bit worried, but they still want to try it, and you tell them, hey man, why don't you Google it, research it, and you can always come back tomorrow if you have any questions. How do they react?
Before I do that, but I give my explanation. I don't send them directly to Google.
Yeah.
I have what I have to say, I say it, and then we suggest a lot to Google or read different ways of use, because maybe I don't know all the ways of how you can use a
And
product.
what do they tell you?
They're good about it.
They're usually good with it?
Yeah.
And
You're gonna close. Yeah. We'll go inside. We pause it
yeah.
from my side.
Yeah. So they usually react positively when you advise them after you've explained, what it means for the first timer. Can you
They're not afraid. A few occasions, yeah.
Can we go through the typical conversation that you have with a first timer, like when he asks you and when you give him some advice? What is a typical? Huh?
You're torturing.
Really?
That just finished. I'm saying this. You know how many times I give this explanation? It gets me so tired. I will tell you, of course.
Okay,
It gets me
right.
so tired that I try to change it sometimes to make it like
More fun.
sound different to me.
Okay.
I'm like a fucking robot. But yeah, if they come from my country, I cannot say it in Greek. I get confused in Greek because I know it in English. And I say
Okay.
it so many times, and once in a while I
So it's
might
like a
have to
repetition.
say it in Greek.
It's always the same.
It's always the same. Well, it's the same, but it's my story. It's not like we all say the same.
Yeah.
Actually, we say pretty much different stuff, but according to each one's experience, and with psychedelics you cannot have similar experience.
So how do you?
It's different from time to time. I cannot really explain to you as a customer how you're gonna feel,
No, of course.
but I can give it to you in a way that you're gonna take it and you will see. You most of the times you come back and like, yeah, I was like this, and I'm surprised because it's something that I just came up with. But if you give them this idea, with this idea they will take it, so they're gonna have fun. You start telling them like, don't do this and don't do this and don't do that when you are addicted. Like, don't, you kill him.
Yeah.
Because it's psychedelic, it has to do with your mood, with your psychology, with your whole you. If you wake up in a bad mood, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. And
Broke up, you shouldn't do it.
yeah. Do you tell them to have half the portion, or 3/4, or the whole
Yeah,
thing?
it depends. It depends the person, and mostly depends the size of the person. If they are big guys or big girls, even if they are not experienced, are like, no, but I recommend them to take it one by one. So eating it one, chewing the one, good, and then swallowing, and taking the next, chewing it. It's a slow process anyway. I don't tell them to take the whole thing in their mouth because they're not gonna chew very well everything, and then they're gonna feel sick, and they're gonna puke.
Yeah.
And they think they puke because it's the taste is bad. They puke because they didn't chew it good.
They're gonna misinterpret. Yeah. Is it very different with like people who come back for a second, third time? These people, they have had already an experience.
Today we had also, she came while on trip to take second, different one, to continue. It was so fun for her. And her friend was sleeping still, but she didn't take more. It was only her, one of them. Let's say 2 or 3 days ago, 3 guys came. They all took the same. The 2 were good. The one left with an ambulance across my door.
Do you know why? Maybe mixed it with something?
We didn't the guys came inside, started shouting to my colleague who sold them things that they cannot speak English, that were Argentinian, to the doctors, and she had to go there and explain what she do, and we like to take Truffles, but we don't know if he misused it or it was just his own head. Stuff. But yeah, the other 2 were okay.
But usually the people that come for, let's say, people with more experience, the conversation you have with them is very different.
Yeah, people with a lot of experience, I'm also asking stuff from them.
Yeah.
That's how I create my story and make my story even better and more accurate with the time, without even using the same stuff. If someone has used it 20 years, he has to tell me a lot. So from this, I'm gonna start giving this information to the customer.
Yeah.
Maybe in a more simple way, because for the customer, maybe it's the first time that he enters a shop like this, so he has a lot of information to deal with that never had before.
Yeah. Makes sense because it's much more experience. Do people usually come in like single groups, people, or usually bigger groups?
A group between 2 and 5 in a local salon.
Yeah. Let me just pause it. What is the? You told me about a woman that came back for a truffle.
Yeah.
What is the usual feedback that you get from? What are typical feedbacks that you get from customers?
They're all positive. Like
usually
90,
all positive. 90% positive.
No.
What sort of experiences do they have?
Mostly fun.
Funny experiences?
Not so much, but not so like profound experience, spiritual and stuff. But people who have the spiritual experience are people who go for it. But when people just go for the experience, the best experience, we always go with the soft ones.
I always have deep.
Yeah. Since the first one was deep.
Yeah, the first one was deep.
But you knew that you wanted that, and you asked for the deep, or someone talked to you into it.
I didn't know what I wanted. I knew that I was interested in trying it. I was curious, and there was a key moment where my friends and I, we were first in the park. It was fun and blah blah blah. But then we went through the city to go back to the apartment, and I felt a bit uncomfortable. And at the apartment, they were having still a lot of fun. And I decided to go by myself to my bed, and I lay on my bed and I look at the window, and then I enter like a trip that was very different from reality, where I was flying and I had Truffles, and I had like my experiences in my life that were hanging on my feet, and they were asking me to not let go, and a voice within me said, let go. And I had to go through this experience where I let go of them, and it was painful. The more I let go of people, the more painful it was, and then at the end it was just my closest friends and closest. And then I woke up from this, and I felt like saying no words, saying nothing. I felt so pure that I was just quiet for like half an hour or 1 hour after that. It was very deep, very important for me.
Which truffle was it?
Which what?
Which truffle?
I don't. But I
That's the normal purpose of the thing.
Yes,
Not
I
of the
understand.
fun, but the fun is more popular.
You know, I grew up in Mexico, and
Yeah,
and in-
ayahuasca.
and in Mexico there's a woman called Maria, and she was the first, let's say, shaman that opened up the world of mushrooms to the hippies. Obviously some people knew of it before, but they were the first ones to bring it back to Europe and so on. And other shamans criticized her because they said that her problem is that that these people are coming to experience God and not themselves. So
That
that,
was the mushroom.
so yeah, and they're having too much of an idea in their mind, and so that's the issue that the other shamans had with this shaman. And I find it quite interesting because in a world where we consume alcohol, compulsively, and other drugs compulsively, we look at the mushroom and we want the same, but it doesn't give you that. It can, but
It can,
go
and
much
that's the
deeper.
purpose.
It can go deeper.
Yeah, you don't need the distraction to get there, and
Yeah.
the distraction gets bigger and bigger as we move forward. It's not getting less.
It's true.
We should end up only distracted. That's what the mushroom can prevent, but the mainstream use.
Yeah.
If it goes popular, people just experience mushroom once every 2 years, and they visit Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And this doesn't solve it. And they're here, it was like a profound experience, and I found myself in 1 year being back to the routine. You forget about this spiritual experience and all this cleansing, and I've seen people who do ayahuasca and they are fucked up even worse than before.
Really?
Not because of the ayahuasca, but because their life went the way it went. That it was like never happened. These amazing things, like this
Yeah.
big with so many problems, so
Nothing
many
changed.
complicated stuff. Yeah, although changed maybe the first 2-3 months after the thing. But
Yeah.
then it depends how you get the distraction, you get the life, how your life goes, what's your troubles.
Yeah. Is it true that a few years ago I heard that there was an idea that to make coffee shops only available for locals? Was that yeah? Did
but-
something similar happen with the smart shops?
No, this with the coffee shops was about because of the trafficking with through the
From
borders.
Germany and yeah.
From custom, not trafficking, like
Yeah.
the big amounts. But then this happened in the cities around. But yeah, they had the but the owners of Amsterdam reacted to that. And yeah, of course, because they're going to shut down without the tourists. There's so many
There are so many, yeah.
that the citizens are much less nowadays. So in the borders, yeah, it is. But no, the cops, the Truffles,
So
I
the
was
tourists-
hearing rumors that people stopped like
Really?
2 years ago.
But
So
the
that
tourists
was
keep
also-
these businesses alive, sort of, or
Here,
yeah.
yeah.
And do you ever think of what? Because we talk about the tendency of drugs going towards a direction, just like truffles and mushrooms going in the same direction than other drugs, where customers just take them to have fun or to have. Do you
The
see?
experience, but they're not focused.
Do you
in
see
the
that?
experience.
Do you ever think about how people would look at truffles or how smart shops would have developed if Amsterdam wasn't so touristic? If it wasn't so influenced by the tourist? Do you think about that?
How Amsterdam would be?
No, how the smart shop would be. Because the smart shop
It wouldn't be.
wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be. I don't know. Smart shops, no. Maybe the head shop specifically.
Yeah, the head shops.
That's what would keep it alive. The head shop side of it.
Yeah, that's what
Smart
I'm
shops
asking
don't
for.
have a head shop side.
Yeah.
They have the smart shop side which lives and develops
Which
through
changes.
tourism.
Yeah,
It's
and
100%
it's
touristic.
only focused on making money.
Yeah, with any product you can imagine,
Yeah.
even selling forbidden products because they're still popular.
They sell forbidden products.
Yeah, with different labels.
Like which one?
There's this. They ask about this alegria.
What's alegria?
Alegria used to be, I think even before my time here, used to be something that had a substance. It's like a liquid you drink, and before it, like the ones we have now, but a different formula. That it was available through smart shops. But then the substance inside became illegal because every year they make substances illegal and they have to take back products, change the formula, bring it back in the market. So this was one of his products, but it was so popular because it was really giving you a kick, and it was like MDMA, and the customers coming like crazy to ask for that. And there are people for us customers to ask, or they come and show me.
It's called Alegría?
Yeah. I guess they get it from somewhere.
Yeah. So the head shop
would the mushrooms, they still sell mushrooms.
Yeah.
Other smart shops or people in the parks, we go to Wonder Park.
I've never seen a mushroom in Amsterdam. I've only seen truffles, but I haven't really looked for it either.
In Flower Market, there's this smart shop in the middle, in Leidsplein. You know the Flower Market?
Yeah.
With all the
close to Kerkstraat.
It's Budwig Street. There, in the middle of it, where the Starbucks is also. The Starbucks. In the middle there's a smart shop. You go some stairs down, and they have mushrooms in the window, exposed. And they're illegal. Supposedly the shop will shut down if you sell mushrooms. And people come with these boxes like, we just bought this there, how it's illegal. And I'm trying to explain now how, because it's illegal, and they think that I'm not giving the mushrooms that I have, and I don't give them.
Let's do like we're almost done, but let's do like a hypothetical situation where I'm a customer.
We didn't do this.
And I come into your shop and I'm like, hey Nash, what's up, bro? I'm looking for, a strong hallucination. I want to be in a deep trip. What would you advise me?
First of all, what's your experience?
And I say, I've done it once or twice.
Okay, then you want the most spiritual experience or the most visual experience and funny?
The most.
You want to go deep inside?
Deep inside.
Dragon's Dynamite.
Dragon's Dynamite?
Of course. The deepest shit.
More than high Hawaiians?
That's the difference. If you were telling me I want to have fun but strong visuals and hallucinations, you go for Hawaiian. Because it keeps you social and active. Dragon, you dive.
Would you compare dragon more to the mushroom?
Yeah. And with LSD, then I compare it.
Okay. Do you... Lastly, like...
You wanted also a description of a beginner.
Yeah.
Which I didn't give you.
Yes. A beginner, yeah.
Which I don't know if I was out of the point sometimes, but I have to give you something.
Yeah.
Well, so I was.
Well, no, but like it's not always easy to follow the exact structure.
I think we left it at some point. And I didn't tell you.
Are you talking about the beginner user, the first time user? Yeah, exactly.
You want the description to the routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. People come and they were like, "What should I get?" And looking at me, and they stop there, and I'm getting so annoyed by that. I could easily say the most expensive because that's what they do. Other shops. Or my manager of my other job would prefer, and I've seen it as a customer also. I'll be Hawaiian. Because why? Because it's the strongest, and it's easy to say the strongest is the best, but it doesn't go like this. The best is what you need now.
Yeah.
Now the best for you is different from the best. But because there are people like in the coffee shop, because these are houses, luxurious houses, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Fucking amazing apartment. But because there are people like in the coffee shops that they come and they ask the strongest weed, and then they pass out outside, like the guy next to you when we started the interview.
Yeah.
This is one of these. They go with a girlfriend, like, just give me the strongest. How many? You smoke often? Never. It's first time. Are you sure? Yeah. Take it. You're 30 years old. 40
you would
years
still sell it to someone?
No, that's what.
That's for coffee shop.
Also to a customer, if he insists, I will explain. But if he insists, and he's not drunk or he's not high from drugs in general, if he's conscious and he knows what he... Of course, because I told you it's not extreme also to take the strongest, but maybe it's not the funniest experience.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna be really confused.
So let's go through the experience of the first timer.
So I will be like this. What's your experience? What I ask you also first. Like, who are you? When they come with this, what should I get? No, what do you recommend? Like, to who? To me? Because that's, right now between me and you, I only know me. Can you tell me something more about you? Like, yeah, I only smoke weed. Okay, that's a good start. You only smoke weed? Okay, you want something, you're gonna go out or you're gonna stay inside? You wanna do it outdoors? Or what's your plans? You have friends, you wanna be social in a way, or you have a more personal trip? Well, usually it's I wanna have fun because I'm scared to go for the more deep experience at first. Like, no, I just laugh. And then I go with Mexicana, for example, which is a good one to begin. But like, or they come themselves and they ask me, I want the Philosopher's Stone, for example. Today it happened, and I'm like, have you tried it before? No. Have you tried the Truffles? No. Why do you ask this? Did someone recommend it to you? Some people will say yes. Okay, cool. And you liked, they had a good experience? Yeah, okay. But I need to let you know that, it's pretty deep. It's very soft. It's first in the list because
the Mexicana or the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah.
It doesn't have visuals and body effect, but it's intense in the brain effect. And when you're a beginner, you can deal with the body effect, you can deal with the visuals, but you cannot deal. Maybe if you cannot deal with something, it would be the brain.
That's interesting because today, yesterday a Chinese customer that I talked to was not sure what he wanted. And he asked me, because we were talking, what I recommended, and I said, ask the people in the store. I personally told him that I like just feeling relaxed and feeling just observing and just feeling whatever comes up. But then, I didn't hear this conversation with the people in the store, but he bought the Philosopher's Stone. And today he gave me his feedback that he felt stupid. And it's a shame because he was in company of someone else that knew he had taken it, but that he felt a bit stressed about things sometimes and he didn't feel very sharp. And I think it's because he didn't really have the environment to relax.
Very important.
But also because he took the Truffles that are the Philosopher's Stone, that are more brain active.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're more brain active, and if you're not even one time, for me, experience, of course, if you do it like 4 or 5 times a year, you're more easygoing as a customer. I don't have a lot to tell you.
Yeah.
But if you told me I did once last year, it's enough for me to take the strongest. But okay, we covered that you can take the strongest because you have the experience. But then it's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to a party. You're gonna go fuck a prostitute. You're gonna go to a bar. You're gonna stay in your hotel room. Because it depends what you wanna do. I have to inform you. Of course, I will sell you what you want. But I have to tell you myself. I don't know if others do it or whatever. But it's not because I work there. It's because it's something that's possible to do. To inform someone who's taking a drug he never took before.
Yeah.
For me, maybe it's a joke. It's fun, which I never took. I took truffle one time 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. But I can describe every truffle pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Because of the feedback.
Do you advise on locations to take it?
Yeah.
Nature, rooms?
Firstly, I advise location not to take it, which is the center of the city, especially the red light and all this chaos there. It's too small for that and too busy. And when it kicks in, you don't have it even once. You didn't have the cold shower before.
Yeah.
And then it changes the way. Maybe people are 40 years old and they want to do it. And for 40 years, they have their own way of seeing things, of feeling their body, of doing whatever they do. So this is going to change. And it's better to change in a smoothly way at first, if you are a very, very beginner. But if you know it already, go hardcore, because you know maybe it's going to come stronger than before, but you know what to expect. You know that it's going to change. What is changing is the truffle.
Yeah.
And at first, maybe you start feeling that you're not good. You're going crazy. That's what gives them the panic.
Yeah.
And maybe they call sometimes in the shop, I don't feel well, can I come there? Is it a problem for you if I come there because I feel alone and I'm in the hotel? And people come just to sit in the office and we have them there sitting 1 hour
At the
panic.
shop?
Yeah, like this. Put any music you like, bro. What you feel in there? This, you want some sugar with water? Yeah. How do you feel? Shit. But you know, they feel shit inside. You know,
Yeah.
everything is fine around.
Yeah.
They're safe as fuck, and they know they're safe in a way. But if I had that in a trip with the Truffles.
Yeah.
Because I misuse them though. That's why it's very important. If you misuse cocaine, it's not very different than using it.
How do you use a truffle properly?
In a place that you feel confident, that with people you feel confident and safe. You don't do it with people you met in the hostel yesterday.
Yeah.
In a place that you are safe in terms that they are not, it's not busy, not too many information to deal with, so you can focus on the trip and what's coming to really feel the difference, because you get distracted, you think people are looking at you, you see your fingers in a different color, you think everybody sees that. And people get stressed, it depends also on the personality of each one, but some people are like very sensitive and they go crazy, and that's the thing with the truffle. If you go crazy, it's hard to turn it around if you're a beginner.
You have to go through it.
If you know how to do it, I never recommend truffles to people who want to go party, unless if the guy tells me my own drug to go to party is LSD, for example. I'm like, okay, bro, take what you like. And I give him, and I feel safe also giving him, because he did it 100 times. I can also smoke weed in places that someone would smoke and
for sure.
get paranoid as fuck, and I can deal it better with it. So I know. But if it's a very beginner and they trust me, they're not annoyed by not. They come for one and they get the other thing, and I'm like, go party and come tomorrow and do this trick.
Do you advise them to not eat or to fast, or is there something like that?
Not to eat too fast. Yeah, we said that. To eat piece by piece. So
no, but to not eat before the mushroom.
Yeah. You want the process also.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing goes. There's also a book that says half of what I say there.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours before this. If it's more, it's better. But at least 2 hours, no food and nothing with sugar.
Yeah.
That's why no food actually. Eating it, chewing it very well, piece by piece, to focus on the piece. So you have one piece to chew. You put the whole thing in your mouth. You can swallow pieces that you didn't chew, because the taste is it's not good. It's a little bit tough. So people try to eat it fast to get over it, to drink some water without chewing, and then that's where you puke. If it stays some time in you, you can still have a trip after puking, but you need to be lucky. So chewing good, forget about the taste, close your fucking nose. You get the puke, and like, maybe it's better because they took also out some.
Maybe.
And it comes,
it's more balanced.
It's not so crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah. Of course, if you take 1 gram of mushroom, it's very different than taking the same mushroom with 3 grams.
Do people usually buy 3, 15? How much do they buy? 10, 15?
The people, to some people I don't say I sell 10.
10.
Because I know they need 15. But if I tell them I have 10, but I recommend them 15, they will need I do it for the profit, because it's more expensive.
Okay.
But that's not the case, because we also sell it much cheaper.
Right. So usually you sell 15 grams?
I sell 15 to people who are more than 60, 70 kilos.
Okay.
To girls, if they come two girls, in the catalogs, in the price list, we don't have the 10 grams, because we recommend it responsibly to whoever needs it. Because the rest are going to take 10 grams, they're going to feel 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, they're going to come back, bust my balls, why it didn't work, and then they're going to try to take more, but then the balance is changing, it's not the same trip, and it comes back boomerang to me. So,
do any customers almost treat you like a shaman or a type of advisor because of the advice you have given them that has helped them?
Yeah, they feel actually I think they feel like this way.
Trust?
And trust, because they faced a lot of rude behaviors before they come in my shop. Because it's not about, maybe also some of my colleagues are rude, but I'm not rude by nature. So, and there is a lot of rude service in the touristic industry.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck about tourists. You don't give a fuck about the locals. We have locals that I give them my phone to make phone calls if they don't have their phone. They sit on the office. They recommend me sites to get education about some new stuff, herbs, blah blah. It's the same. We try to keep the contact more personal, even with customers. They come back like a year later. They come back in the shop, or they come back like 2-3 months again. Like, hey, yeah, we had some. Sometimes they don't even buy something; just come to say hi.
Yeah.
And they go, that's nice. But yeah, not everybody cares about that. Because if you're the businessman, you care about that.
Cool.
But if I have to deal with people, I want to deal in a way that I enjoy.